Mercury Topaz. The Ford Tempo and its twin, the Mercury Topaz, are compact cars that were produced by the Ford Motor Company for model years 1984 to 1994. They were downsized successors to the boxy Ford Fairmont and Mercury Zephyr twins. The Tempo and Topaz were part of a rejuvenation plan by Ford to offer more environmentally friendly, fuel-efficient, and more modern-styled models to compete with the European and Japanese imports. While the car sold well, its innovation and aerodynamic design paved the way for the even more groundbreaking Ford Taurus. The Tempo and Topaz were replaced for 1995 by the World Car platform sold in North America as the Ford Contour and Mercury Mystique. Although built on a different platform, the aerodynamic Ford Sierra was somewhat of a European counterpart to the Tempo. It replaced the boxy, rear-wheel drive Ford Cortina while the Tempo did the same for the Fairmont in North America. The Sierra too was succeeded by Ford's World Car platform in the form of the Ford Mondeo. The design and life of the Tempo began in the late 1970s as Ford was gearing to build towards a more ergonomic, more efficient, and more aerodynamic design philosophy. The new design philosophy was due, in part, to the aging Ford Pinto and Ford Maverick, and to oil embargoes which led to a rise in more fuel-efficient import vehicle sales. Taking note of this, Ford set out to revolutionize the automotive industry, and laid the groundwork for three revolutionary vehicles, the 1983 Thunderbird, and its Mercury counterpart, the Cougar, the 1984 Tempo, and its Mercury counterpart, the Topaz, and, later, the Taurus, and its Mercury counterpart, the Sable. The Tempo and Topaz were based on a stretched version of the front-wheel drive platform used on the Ford Escort, but with radical new bodies. Being based on the Escort meant the Tempo and Topaz, unlike their Fairmont and Zephyr predecessors, were front-wheel drive. By making them front-wheel drive, interior space was much larger than if they had been rear-wheel drive. The transaxle designs also borrowed heavily from the Ford Escort. However, there were few common components due to the Tempo and Topaz's larger size. In December 1978, wind tunnel testing began on the Tempo, with more than 450 hours of testing resulting in more than 950 different design changes. As part of these changes, the Tempo and Topaz both featured 60 degrees windshields, matching those of the new Thunderbird and Cougar. Also new were the aircraft-inspired door frames, which originally appeared on the Thunderbird, Cougar. These door frames wrapped up over the edge of the roof, which improved sealing, allowed for hidden drip rails, and cleaned up the A-pillar area of the car significantly. The rear track was also widened, creating more aerodynamic efficiency. The front grille was laid back more and the leading edge of the hood was tuned for aerodynamic cleanliness. Wheels were pushed out to the edges of the body, decreasing areas where air turbulence would be created. The rear of the cars were treated to just as many changes. The rear window was laid down at 60 degrees as well, and the trunk lid was raised higher than the side windows. This allowed the air to flow off the car more smoothly, and allowed for greater fuel efficiency. From the side view, this raised trunk created a wedge look to the car which was especially prominent on the two-door coupe versions. All of these changes created a coefficient of drag, CD, of 0.36 for the two-door car, 0.37 for the four-door, which was equal to the CD of the new Aero Ford Thunderbird. Ford endeavored to make every trim level look attractive, not just the top-of-the-line versions as had been customary in Detroit. When the Tempo was released in 1983 as a 1984 model, it became an instant success, with more than 107,000 two-door models and more than 295,000 four-door models being sold in the first year. Initial advertising featured a Tempo sedan performing a loop on a stunt track. The commercials touted the Tempo as being America's all-new aerodynamic sedan and listed features such as the world's most advanced automotive computer, called EEC4, that was claimed to have the ability to monitor up to 7 vital engine functions, and noted the interior to be roomier in the rear seat than a Mercedes-Benz 300D. Other ads featured the slogan "Pick up the tempo of your life,"